Hey, before I get into this video, uh, I've already recorded the actual position ranking. I'm recording this afterward. Um, I just want to apologize real quick. The audio is real bad, but yeah, that just happens when I actually have to use the screen recorder on my laptop. My laptop's kind of a piece of shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I I usually have to record the audio on my phone, but I just couldn't do that with this video. That wasn't gonna work. But anyway, I just wanted to apologize for that and enjoy the video if you can. What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be talking. Well, actually, I'm going to be giving a position ranking. So yeah, let's get started with that. I'm going to be talking about multiple positions here. I'm not going to make separate videos for each position. I'm just going to go over it. As you can probably see, I have basically put up a I pretty much just made a list on Microsoft Word, and I'm gonna scroll down it and I'll talk about the things I feel like talking about, and yeah, that's about it. So let's get started. First off, quarterback. Oh, also, some of these positions I have more or less people on the list for. Positions like linebacker or tight end, I really don't have that many players I like. And actually, the only reason I even got to 5 quarterbacks is because quarterback is kind of important. I don't really like a lot of these quarterbacks, so we'll get into that. So, Kyler Murray, I have him at number 1. I think he has the most talent. I think he has the most talented arm in the class. And then paired with his mobility, I still don't like him. I still don't really like his size. I don't like that he puts his eyes down when pressure comes. All the things I said in my Kyler Murray video, so check that out if you want more information. All those things are still true. I still don't really like Dwayne Haskins all that much. I think he's very overrated. I think he's very inaccurate with any passes that aren't like 5 yards away from him. I don't think I made videos on Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, or Tyree Jackson, but I'm not a fan of any of them. I don't really like this quarterback class at all. So honestly, I'm just going to move right past that. Let's go on to running back now. Running back, I like this year's running backs. I do. There's no like obvious, clear cut. You know, there's no Saquon Barkley's. There's no Ezekiel Elliott's this year. Nothing like that. But there's some starters in here for sure. And I think all 7 of these guys can start in the NFL, or at least give you some value. I've made videos on most of them, so I'm not really going to talk too much about it. But I think I mentioned in my David Montgomery video that I thought he was probably going to be my number 1, and that hasn't changed. So I'm going to move down to wide receiver. Now, wide receiver was probably the position I had the hardest time coming up with a list for. I feel like this year's receivers are pretty close as far as talent level goes, and it kind of comes down to preference and also what your team is looking for. I think A.J. Brown at the top is easy for me because I feel like he's the most complete receiver in this class. He doesn't do anything extraordinarily well, but he does everything pretty good. Like, he's not super fast, but he's fast enough to get the job done. He's not the best route runner in this class, but he's a pretty damn good route runner. He's also like 6'1", like 230 pounds, so he's not small. So I just think he's the most complete guy. But some of these other people, honestly, you can move them up and down however you want, and I really wouldn't fuss with you too much. Like Hakeem Butler and N'Keal Harry, I think they're both pretty similar players. They're both big-bodied, physical, you know, helpful in the red zone types of receivers. But then you got people like Riley Ridley, who is more of a small route runner kind of guy. And if you want to make a case that Riley Ridley is better than these two, I'm not going to fuss with you because he is a better route runner than them, by far. It just depends on what you're looking for. I know people are really hyping up DK Metcalf, but I don't have him very high on my list. Oh, also, back to running back. Speaking of overhyping, Josh Jacobs is a little bit overhyped. I mentioned that in the video. But anyway, back to receiver. I think DK is a little bit overhyped. He still gives you a lot of value. Just don't expect too many catches out of him. He's more of a big threat kind of guy. He's not going to catch a bunch of passes for you, but he'll probably catch like one or two big ones in a game. So yeah, like I said, a lot of these receivers, you can move them up and down this list. I mean, every position, every list I've seen for receivers this year is so wildly different, and I really can't be mad at them for it because it just depends on what you're trying to value. So yeah, actually, I think wide receivers, honestly, why this took so long to make, because I could not make it. I had a hard time coming up with the top 10 receiver list. I had a really hard time with that. Tight end. After Irv Smith, it kind of falls off for me, so I only did three players. You'll see something similar with linebacker later. But I love all these three. TJ Hawkinson, I think, is an absolute amazing all-around balanced tight end. He has enough speed to get the job done. He is strong, reliable hands, decent route runner for a tight end. Very good blocker. Just all around everything you want in a tight end. Noah Fant, he is he's a willing blocker. He's not that great at blocking, but he's very willing. And he's also athletic as hell. So I love him a lot too. Irv Smith is pretty cool too. But after Irv Smith, it kind of falls off pretty hard. Offensive line, I've mentioned before, Cody Ford is head and shoulders above everyone else in my opinion. As you can see, I put tackle/guard for him because some people are trying to put him at guard. I think he would be successful at tackle or guard. I don't really care. Same thing with Jonah Williams. Although with him, I think I do prefer him at guard just because he has kind of short arms, and I just prefer him there. But he absolutely can play tackle. I don't have problems with him at tackle. And yeah, Garrett Bradbury, I love him a lot. I think he's the best center in this class. So yeah, I'm really high on him. Let's see. Let's move on to edge players. So yeah, number one here wasn't a surprise. Didn't have to think about this at all. Nick Bosa, number one, possibly the best player in this draft. In my opinion, it's Quinnen Williams, but Nick Bosa's right there with him. So if you want to say that Nick Bosa is better than Quinnen, I'm not going to fight with you. But anyway, yeah, so he's easily number one. I think Josh Allen is a solid number two. You can put him at outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme if you want to, but I prefer his hands in the dirt personally. But yeah, then you got Montez Sweat, Zach Allen, and Jalen Ferguson. I've made videos on all of them, I think. Yeah, I have. So let's move on to defensive tackle. Quinnen Williams. I've stated multiple times that Quinnen Williams is my favorite player in this draft, regardless of position. So you know he's going to be number one. And number two, Jeffrey Simmons. Now keep in mind, this video I'm talking about sheer football ability and talent. I'm not really rating who I think will be successful or anything like that, but sheer talent, I think Jeffrey Simmons is number two. You just have to be a little bit patient with him. If you're going to draft him, he's kind of a more risky pick. Not only is he injured currently with a torn ACL, I believe, but he also had a domestic violence case back when he was in high school. So, you know, there's that. Not really domestic violence. It wasn't his girlfriend or anything, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. Christian Wilkins. I actually had a hard time deciding between Wilkins and Simmons. Wilkins is obviously the safer pick, and I'd probably draft him before Simmons. I don't know, but those two can be exchanged either way, in my opinion. Oh, and Ed Oliver, I know people are going to have him pretty high. I personally don't. I think he's very athletic, but I covered it in my Ed Oliver video. I'm not gonna say everything over again. By the way, if you heard that noise, that was my laptop because it's a piece of shit. Anyway. So yeah, like I said, linebacker. I think I've stated before, I don't like the linebackers in this class a whole lot. I do like both Devin Bush and Devin White. I think they're both fairly similar players. I see them. I see them both at Sam. I just don't see either of them really really reading plays all that well. They're both very athletic, but you know, the mental processing isn't quite there for either of them. And after that, I really do not like the linebackers in this class, so I didn't even want to make a list past them. So anyway, I'm just going to move straight on the corner. Yeah, a lot of people are probably going to put the top three here. I've seen people flip around a whole lot. I think there's an argument to be made for all three of them, but I personally put Byron Murphy at number one. I think he's the safer pick. Some people might say Greedy Williams, but I stated it in my Greedy Williams video that the second half of the season he kind of disappeared. You know, when LSU wasn't doing so good, so I think that's a concern for me. DeAndre Baker is a very good pick. Rocky Sin is very good. Julian Love, very good. If you get any of these guys, they can give you some value, so don't hesitate with any of them. Let's move on to safety. I've already stated how much I like Nasir Adderley. I think he's the best and most well-rounded safety in this class. I think he can play strong or free safety. I think he's probably the only true free safety in this entire class. So, yeah, there's that. I think after him it is kind of a bit of a leap as far as talent level. I like the rest of these people, but it's kind of a far drop in my opinion. I like Darnell Savage a lot. I was really high on him in my video. I think I compared him to Troy Polamalu. Not quite talent level, but just play style. You know, just reckless as hell. Throwing his body full force into tackles. You know, that kind of thing. The other three, yeah, I made videos on all these guys, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Also, these last three positions, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about, because there's not much to say. I'm going to do it all at once. Kicker, punter, and long snapper. That's right, I did a long snapper. I don't think there's too many people doing long snapper position rankings. I'm really not going to talk about them too much, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say. These guys are my top people at the positions for me. Matt Gay, the kicker, out of Utah. He's left-footed, which I guess is cool. I know people like Bill Belichick like left-footed kickers and punters because the ball rotates in the opposite direction than usual, which can affect on returns. It sometimes causes returners to drop the ball, and that can be an easy fumble for you. So there's that. And then for punters, Mitch Wisnowski, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, he's a rugby style punter, so that'll be interesting to see how he does in the NFL. Yeah, I do like him. I just wonder how he's going to be standing straight when he's punting. We'll see, though. I'm not going to talk about long snapper here. I'm just not. But anyway, if all goes well, this video should come out before the morning of the draft, Thursday. Actually, I'm recording this that same morning. You can probably see that. But anyway, that's all I really got for this video. If you liked it, if you could please hit the like button, it would be appreciated. If you have any questions or comments, agree with me, disagree with me, leave it in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.